Moist, lumpy gland secretion.
Welcome to the Finer Diner. I'm Autumn and this is
JT.
And today we're talking about words that people hate.
Yeah, it's funny because words are absolutely necessary to communication, but yet for some reason there's words that we just absolutely can't stand, and some people's words are different than other people's words.
The 4 words that were in the beginning were obviously words that people don't like.
Yeah. Moist, lumpy, gland, and secretion. Those are 4 words that were suggested by somebody on an online forum, and of course you can run them all together, and it just makes a very bad mind picture when you do that.
Most people don't like the word moist because it associates like a feeling, and moist is a word that you just automatically feel something wet or nasty, like a putty or glue.
It's really kind of strange because what is moist anyway? Moist is slightly wet. Wet's not a bad word, but for some reason, if you look up people's most hated words, moist is at the top of the list all the time. So why is slightly wet different than wet?
Sponge cake.
See, some things are supposed to be good moist, because you can equate moist with food, and actually somebody online said that one of the worst things you could do is to put moist together with something like tasty and call it moist and tasty, but I believe there's a cake out there that's called moist and cakesty. Tasty, not cakesty. Cakesty should be a word. I like that word actually, but it's actually the title of a cake, moist and tasty. So I don't know if they didn't do their research when they named the cake or what, but I don't know. I don't really have anything against the word moist myself. I know it can be associated with bad things, but it can be associated with good things as well. What are some of the words that you don't like?
I hate spittle.
Spittle. Yeah, actually, and too, on our Facebook page, look us up on Facebook at The Finer Diner. On our Facebook page, someone said that they really hated the word saliva. And so they preferred the word spit over saliva, which I guess I can agree with that. Spit does sound better than saliva. But of course, spit is just short for the word spittle, which I don't care for either.
It sounds like what I imagine a dog drooling. Like that's what it should be called.
Spittle. Look at that. Look at that big pile of spittle over there.
It's gross.
It is gross. And it sounds like Kittles. Skittles. Not Kittles. Skittles. Spittle Kittles. Skittles. Piddles Kittles. Something like that.
Oh gosh. And then yuck or yucky. It just sounds like an adult trying to be fancy, but they turn out sounding like a 2-year-old.
Ooh, yucky. But you brought up something not too long ago about words that people probably shouldn't use. And I think what you meant by that is there are certain words that probably adults shouldn't use, and then there's more gender-specific words. A female could use one word, and a guy could use one word, and that's acceptable, but they shouldn't cross one another. I know, and most parents out there will probably identify with this. I never started saying things like, I'm going to go to the potty, until I had children. I would have felt completely weirded out saying stuff like that, but even to this day, I say things like, I'm going to go potty. So, I don't know, it just gets ingrained in you so much. Another word that someone put on Facebook, the Finer Diner page on Facebook, that they didn't like was the word bottom. And bottom. And I could see that, though. It depends on how it's used. Like you've got the bottom of something, but then you're probably maybe referring to the bottom of some body. And that's kind of one of those words that may not be appropriate for an adult to use, or something like that.
Of course, most adults don't like saying something like butt in front of kids.
Right.
Because they don't want their kids using that word, which is crazy.
And adults probably shouldn't use the word jammies. I'm going to go put on my jammies.
Especially not footy pajamas.
Right. Were there any other words, though, that, I think there were some that you had that, guys shouldn't use?
Tummy and yummy. Ooh, that food was yummy in my tummy.
Yeah. I actually caught myself, I had, wasn't feeling too good right here in the stomach area a few days ago, and I actually said there was something wrong with my tummy.
It's okay if a 4-year-old uses that word, but you're 36. You're 32 years too old to say that.
That doesn't make my tummy feel very good.
And then guys shouldn't say stuff like, oh, she's such a cutie or a sweetie.
Yeah, a little too feminine, I suppose.
Yeah, that's why you don't call a guy pretty. It's always handsome, because you're like, oh, he's so pretty. Doesn't sound right.
Yeah, when you write your fan letters to thefinerdiner@gmail.com, don't call me pretty, please.
Most people don't anyways.
I'll tell you one of my least favorite words, and amazingly enough, another person on our Facebook page said this was one of their least favorite words, which kind of gave me some validation for this, but I really hate the word dollop. I don't like it. First of all, it's not even an accurate sense of anything. What in the world is a dollop? I mean, it's a blob of something out of a spoon. See, because I think about the Cool Whip, not Cool Whip, sour cream commercials, a dollop of Daisy. I mean, it's not even, what's a dollop? You can't accurately measure it. It's so kind of vague, and it just makes me think big blob.
And my older sister, does not like the word congealed, which is always fun because we'd eat tacos and stuff like that, and you're like, you want a dollop of congealed sour cream?
Yeah, not good. The thing is, though, is with words like dollop, I kind of don't like it because it is vague. It doesn't really sound good. But then congealed, you kind of associate it with not good things. So there's a couple of different ways you can go when you're looking at words that you don't like. And one is the word actually associated with something you don't like? Because a word is a representation of that thing. So if you've got a bad thing and the word that represents it, is there, it's probably going to be bad too. So, when we did some research about this, we saw a lot of people didn't like words that were just associated with bad things because of the bad things themselves.
No and hate.
Right.
So.
Who likes the word hate? I hate it. So at any rate, but then there are words that sound bad just because of the way they're formed. One of the least favorite words that I have in that category is cellular. It took me forever to figure out how to say cellular. And fortunately, we've just shortened it now in the United States and it's just cell. So that makes me feel a whole lot better about that. So cellular is not good. Rural.
I still don't know how to say that.
Right. If you live out in the country, you just live out in the country, but the actual word is rural, so not good either. Looking online, here's a couple of words. There are a few words that people online didn't like. One is Worcestershire, which I can completely understand why. Worcestershire, it just doesn't roll off of anything. Acrylic, what do you think about acrylic?
I don't think acrylic's that bad, but I mean, I paint a lot and I use acrylic paint, so I say it a lot.
What about gorgonzola?
I don't even know what that is.
I think it's a kind of cheese. A kind of cheese? Gorgonzola?
Cheese.
I want some gorgonzola in my tummy.
It's cheeses sound weird though, because Munster, it's not monster. Munster.
Here's a couple though that I took exception at. One's ukulele, and I kind of like that one. Ukulele. It sounds kind of fun. Makes me think of Tiny Tim and tiptoeing through the tulips and all that good stuff. So I like ukulele. Here's one too. Spork.
It makes me think of Spock.
Oh, I never thought about that. But see, Spock's good to think about.
Yeah.
So are sporks, one of the greatest inventions ever, just like the ukulele. This one, I don't know why, when I was reading through the list, maybe it just hit me just the right way and I started to laugh, but log. Why did somebody even put that on there? I like log. It's a good word. Log.
You roll downstairs and over your neighbor's dog.
I like log. I like this one. This one was one of my favorites though. Meat. Meat. I think, but here's the reasoning. Here's the reasoning behind it. They said because it's dead flesh made to pass as food.
I hope it's dead flesh. I don't want it to be alive.
So yeah, you have to kind of listen to is the word. You're tearing up, aren't you? I like meat. Is it because it's related to something bad, or is it because it's a word that sounds funny? You know, like the word seepage. It's just not good all the way around because you don't relate it to anything good. But then you look at a word like exacerbate or hippopotamus. Well, they could just be difficult to say, and that's the reason those words are kind of strange.
Because you want a hippopotamus for Christmas. A lot of words that people don't like are like whatever, nice, like, and awesome. Which is just awesome. It's because people overuse it, but I mean you like stuff on Facebook all the time. It's not like, that is so fun, I must always look at it.
Yeah, that would be kind of strange to have the this is really fine and cool button.
Yeah.
But like is much better.
And then a lot of people don't like epic. It's crazy. I use that all the time. They say it's been overused, but of course, they may be grandparents somewhere who have several grandkids that say it all the time.
Yeah, and then how would you describe a show like this? It's just epic!